What is up, you wonderful folks? It's me, Alex with Swamp Rat Fishing. I've got the co-hostess with the mostest. What do we got today? Bussin' Bass. We got Paul Roberts, aka Paul Heels. Paul, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, as usual, I'm wonderful. I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited.
Dude, it's going to be a great night. We don't have a guest tonight, but what we're going to do is we're going to do our normal BS, and then we're going to talk some fall fishing. We're starting to get to be around that time. The time of recording is the 31st of August. So all of you up in the Northeast where I am, fall is coming quickly. And then Paul's going to cover a lot of the Southerners where they're going to start fall fishing in January of 2023. So, but before we get started, as always, both me and Paul are proud members of Hook Set Hoodlums. They are.
I finally got it.
You got one?
Hook Set. Woohoo!
Yes. Love it. We're going to do a little like boom. We're going to keep that as a promo. I love it, man. But you guys check them out, hooksethoodlums.com. Head over there. They've got merch coming. From what I've heard, there's a fall line coming soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But there's plenty of good merch over there. And talking about that, the Hook Set multiverse, as we like to call it, has been expanding. So we've also got the Baits and Bourbon podcast on Fridays on Instagram only. That's held by OG Steve-O. OG Scuba Steve. Man, I am awful at this tonight. But go check him out over there. There's wild shenanigans. It's completely not safe for work. Don't have your kids around. You probably shouldn't have any small animals around either, because everything is on the table over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other podcast.
Man, I tell you what, we got it's a podcast. It's also live on Instagram, and it's Amateur Hour with Lone Star Kayak Fishing. I mean, shit, did I say that? I meant amateur angler. But you know, I gotta give my boy some hell, and y'all keep him in your thoughts. He's down there in Louisiana helping get power restored.
Absolutely.
So y'all keep him in your thoughts down there in Lone Star.
And that's ran by Lone Star, Hooked Up North, and Brandon Gone Fishing.
That's right.
So make sure to check them out.
And they'll have a guest host, Will Brewer Fishing, on there too, and he's a wealth of information and knowledge. And I had a good time on that one the other day as well. Paul's been out there like a 20-cent floozy. You've been all over the place on podcasts lately. If I had made 20 cents on anything I'd done, I'd be a rich man right now. But pretty much all I've gotten is some Instagram followers and some shit talking. So hell, I call that good.
That's a win-win.
Now I gotta get on the what is the word I'm looking for? The reintroduced Hook Set Hoodlums one that they just
fishing for answers. Yeah, that's a good point. Head over to YouTube.
I got an answer for any question you ask me. I promise.
Head over to YouTube. They just dropped an episode with Lone Star Kayak Fishing. Mm-hmm. I know they've got some more. You get to sit down with the three creators of Hook Set, and they usually talk to a member or somebody else in this fishing community. And that's another one that you probably shouldn't have small animals or children around. That's a stellar podcast, but go over there and definitely drop them a sub and watch some of these episodes. And I did talk to Wild Bill Fishing today, and I'm going to tell you what, that YouTube is going to be huge soon. They're going to start dropping tons of content. Bill has been putting down the White Claw. He's put it down for a little bit. He's put his work moccasins on, his sandals, basically, and that dude has been churning out stuff. So you guys stay tuned for that. That's over at the Hook Set Hoodlums YouTube, but they are definitely about ready to start pumping out tons of content.
It ain't quite as raunchy now. Daryl ain't showing up on Meat Action. Now you get on Bourbon and Baits, Daryl might show up.
All right, man. What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking. It is a New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
Dude, you
And
guys
of
got them in
course-
tall boys?
Man, well, this ain't a tall boy. This is 19.2 fluid ounces.
I mean, it's not a 24 ounce, but we don't have them that big. I really enjoy the Voodoo Ranger.
Well, you move down here and you can get Voodoo Ranger. It's 9% alcohol too, y'all. 9%er.
Big boy beers.
Man,
and I've got.
We should
Go ahead.
shotgun it like we did last time when you messed it up with Josh. When it
Listen.
took you 5 minutes to shotgun a 12-ounce beer.
Listen, re-looking at the footage, I've realized my folly. And it was, I didn't open. Like, I didn't make the opening wide enough. When I stabbed my keys into it, I just left that tiny slit. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, crank it open, I guess. That's what I'm going
exactly
with.
What you mean? It took you 5. I could have drank it without shotgunning it. I could have drank 2 as fast as you did that one. And you didn't even wait on Josh. He was sitting there all confused and left out. And I mean, guys, imagine he didn't drop us and quit right there. I mean, he is famous.
Poor Josh. He had to deal with the, I mean, we make fun of Lone Star and Hooked Up North and Brandon Gone Fishing, but that was true amateur hour, the start of last week's podcast. So tonight I'm drinking, as always, it's Cape May Brewery. It's a Coastal Evac. I like to call these dad beers, and I like to call them that for a specific reason because it's not as much as yours, but it's an 8%. Like, I don't have a lot of time to drink a lot of beer, so I've got to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth when I get it. All right, man, you ready to crack them?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1. All right, man, let's make this quick and dirty. So, not quick and dirty. What am I talking about?
I spilled mine.
Quick and dirty. One of my jigs and bigs. One of my dad, Bobby Roast Beef. There's nothing quick and dirty about this podcast. How was your week of fishing, man?
Well, I got to go fishing Saturday and Sunday, and I'll tell you what, I was really excited to go Saturday. I got up, ass crack of dawn, got out there way before the sun was coming up, which, you know, I'm on my internal clock, and the times have started changing now. So I got out there super early, so early that I couldn't even cast, but I cast it anyway. I didn't get hung up. That's the good thing. And Bo, it's the morning bite at old Sharon Harris and Lone Stars and Bite. You got to leave Sharon alone. You're messing with Sharon too much. But I went out to my old trusty lake because it's down by the house. And the morning bite sucked. So
Really?
I left. Oh, dude, I do nothing morning bites there recently. It sucked. But this is my lake where I get them bussing bass.
Boston bass.
They be chasing the schools and bussing and it's just, I mean, it's kind of frustrating because you'll see a big ass school of bass, you know, bussing. And you get there, ain't nothing. And if y'all want to kind of get more of what I'm talking about, you need to go listen to Lone Star Kayak, Amateur Angling. I can't even remember when the hell I did it. I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday a week ago. And listen, because we'll talk about it in depth. But anyway, so there's a couple flats and then another area where this tends to happen. And to that day, it was hotter than hell. I mean, we talking about like 95 degrees and 9 o'clock in the morning, not a cloud in the sky, and the fish are just, the bass are just going ape shit in the middle of the fucking lake. I lost probably a 3 or 4 pounder on a top water. Came off. I got to change the hooks out on my spook, but came off. And I was sitting in 25 foot of water, and I ended up catching 4. Lost that one. The smallest one was 2.5 pounds. Everything else was 3.5 pounds.
That's a decent bag.
Yeah, it is. I mean, It's frustrating though because you see them over there busting, breaking the water. I pedal my ass off over there like 5.5 miles an hour in my Hobie, pedaling my ass off. I get there, I throw my lure, and you know, sometimes you hit it right and you get them to bite, and sometimes you don't. But I made a change up the way I've been fishing, and so I went out there expecting to fish this way. And there's the one big flat's a community hole. Everybody knows about it. Boats stack up on it. And there were like 7 boats on it that morning, but it's a huge flat and you can kind of go around. And I checked a couple rock piles, checked brush piles. I checked a couple ditches. Didn't see anything, nothing. This was after where the first little area that I checked, they stopped. And I caught two or three fish, I don't remember. But I checked that area, nothing. On the way back, I stopped that other area. A couple schools fired up, and I caught another 1 or 2. And I caught my last one down at the last area is at. But where I caught those fish and where the most activity was, not one single boat came within 100. One boat came within 100 yards of me. And
when you're talking about, I mean, so how big? Educate some of us. I'm obviously not educated enough. You're normally fishing Sharon Harris. That's a big body of water, correct?
Well, in the scheme of lakes, no. I don't know how many acres and shit. I don't know. It is not a huge body of water by any means.
Really?
When it comes down to like let's say bass or MLF, there's a reason when MLF comes here, they only have like the top 20 or something people there because the lake is super small. So it is not a big lake at all. It's a lowland reservoir, but it kind of has the shape and the size of a highland. It's just not. It's small. It's small. It's a small lake.
Is it a lake that you can run the same pattern through the whole lake, or are you going to have different patterns at different parts?
Man, you can catch fish and brush on, your points and structure. I've got 3 or 4. Well, I've got about 4 places where nice fish, those 2 to 3, 4 pounders, where they bust the schools.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 places that I know, but I'm in a kayak too. I haven't hit everything on that lake, but there's some locals here that fish the wildcats, and then there's some guys here that post their pictures, and they catch fish in other areas of the lake. We've got really 3 places you can put in there. We got two really nice launches.
Okay.
And then we got another place where, if I was to take my old kayak and just, push it off down the hill, which I ain't doing with my Hobie because I couldn't get the bitch back out. Like that's it. So you kind of, you're really relegated to where you can go anywhere, but it can get right bit sporty with the pleasure boaters on the weekends. So crossing that lake can sometimes be treacherous, just from that. But it's just big flats, man. And the simple way to put it is you have a area that comes out way into the lake, and what I consider shallow is 10 foot or less. And then you'll have your drop offs, but the majority of those flats have a really steep drop off. Neither one of them fall into the main channel, but they got a nice little ledge there that goes from like 18 to 30 feet or so pretty quickly. And so it's just a nice little place for those fish to be on those ledges, and home of the fish is in deep water for them to come up and feed. And I tried to capture it on my GoPro this past time out because I talked about it and it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But I haven't reviewed the footage, just like the other probably 180 hours of footage.
What are you waiting for? I wanted to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up. So the listeners know Paul got a GoPro, over a month ago, right?
Shit.
And if anybody knows anything about Paul, whether it be from this podcast or now the 9 million other podcasts that you're on, is that you can talk, man. And I'm sure you're just out there just rambling about jackfish and hog wallows and whatever it is, but we haven't seen anything come out, man. What's going on?
I mean, I get all that fucking footage, and then I gotta sit down and be like, let me cut this. I ain't there yet. I'll get there at some point. I try to think of the easy way to do it because, but here's the thing, man. Honestly, and this from my perspective. Matter of fact, I just listened to a podcast with Larry Melton Jr. on it, and he talked about he does his like where he goes and buys the rod and the reel and does that stuff, and obviously he can see when people watching on. And he's like, people watch everything he does when he starts fishing. The viewership drops.
It's tough. It's tough.
The people that watch the fishing part, and I said this on Amateur Angling, take kayak catfishing, for instance. If you hadn't checked this channel out, go check it out. But he kayak catfishing, catfish out of kayak, right? That's what the name says. So generally, he does that.
Okay.
Okay, that's where we're at.
After Mark, you're not on your game today. But anyway, but this dude Justin catches fucking massive catfish. I mean, he caught you got to watch it. He got 100-something thousand subscribers, you know, but this is what I'm getting at. The point I'm getting at, he catches big ass fish.
Right.
And so people don't want to watch you out there catching a bunch of little small ass fish. And 3-pounders in real life, catching 3-pounders, 4-pounders, that shit's fun. That's a good fish. That's a tournament fish from hell. You catch 5 of those, you in the money every round.
Absolutely.
But when you want to create content, nobody wants to see you catch 3 and 4 pounders.
So
they want to see you catch. They want to see you reeling in
big
7,
ones,
8, 9, 10 pounders flopping in the air, and
but I'll argue that with how much you have a gift of gab. So let's take my channel here, right? I am not. I might be able to talk well here, but usually when I'm on the water, I'm too concentrated, and I have seen kind of a lack of viewership when it comes to that, right? Because I don't have that gift of gab when I'm out there by myself. It's really weird. I know some psychopaths like yourself can just talk to nobody and just be fine, but that's what people want. So even if you're catching small fish, look, the Guggen Squad and Jeffrey Wheeler have made a career out of catching dink fish, right? But they talk to the camera well. That's what people want. So I talked to, I think I've mentioned him a bunch of times on this show, Ramon Outdoors. If you guys don't follow him, go follow him. This dude, he's on to something else, right? So this guy has a really deep thought process when it comes to the whole content creation and social media thing, right? But as long as you and it kind of plays into kind of what you always say, where it's either going to be educational or entertaining, and you got to find your spot in the middle, right? But if you're only catching 2s, then you got to make it entertaining. You know what I mean? And I always talk to him because, like, so he just put out a video. It's a great video. I watched it all the way through. It's a solid video. My boy doesn't catch a fish, but it's a 6-minute video. I didn't realize I was even kind of digesting the information, if you know what I mean. Like it didn't feel like it was 6 minutes. It felt like I was just out there fishing with a buddy. And I think you could do that. Like, I'm bad at it. I've tried, to be honest. Like, this is filming on the 31st, a Tuesday. This is normally my normal release schedule for the normal videos for the YouTube channel, right? I didn't release anything. I actually recorded 2 videos, and they were trash. I went out and fished. I didn't catch anything. It wasn't that entertaining. I just kind of bitched and whined, actually, about life in general for the whole time, and it sounded really emo. And I was like, I'll cut it together. People can get to know me. And I was like, no, dude, this is too fucking dumb.
But you know, sometimes being out there and bitching and moaning to yourself is probably 90, and I hate to use percentage because I'm just fucking guessing, but I'm going to tell you right now, probably 95% of the population, 99% of the time is out there doing that exact same fucking thing. But what's less than 1% that you see on the YouTube?
Right, that's true.
You know what? About you out there sucking fishing and how big of a turd you are.
Yeah, maybe I'll put that out.
How fun this shit is.
Yeah,
like this is where I can come talk to myself, and you put that shit out there, man. Now, me on the other hand, like I just spent 10 hours out there in the 95-degree North Carolina summer heat with no shade. The last thing I want to do is go relive the 4 fish I missed.
No, that's what we want to see. We want to see
also,
you.
You're right. I do talk to that fucking camera a lot.
Yeah.
And what's funny is when I go fishing with other people, like I don't talk a lot. I don't want. It's different when you're in a boat, and it depends on the person. But when like people, like matter of fact, this trip, a bunch of us here locally, I say a bunch, there were 3 or 4 guys were talking about going fishing on one of our kayak angler pages anyway. And so, I chimed in. So I'm going to Sharon Harris, and they said, well, we're all going to Sharon Harris. And they said, well, we're putting at this landing and going this way. I'm like, well, look, I might see y'all later, but I'm putting it the other landing and going this way. And so I tell people this is like, I ain't really a fun person to fish with. Like, I like to have a good time, but I get really tuned in, I get dialed in, and I don't sit. Like there's only I have a plan of if I find a spot, I have a plan on how I'm going to break it apart, and I break that shit apart, and if nothing happens, I'm gone. Now that doesn't mean it's right or wrong at all. Most of the times it's probably wrong, but like when it comes down to it, I do talk the fuck out of that camera, and I don't care when people listen and see boats and all that. So I probably do have some good content. But putting all that shit together is stupid. And I have tried every which way, like the looping, and every time
looping is bad. Looping's bad.
I've tried the 5-minute to 20-minute. I've tried everything because people's like, man, that's great. That's great. The looping's the best. Every time I do looping, I go down and I would look at the footage. The only thing I would have was like, man, that was a good fish. And everything I caught and all that shit was gone. So now what I do is I record and I stop it when I catch it. I catch a fish, I do my little shit, and I stop it.
Yep.
And then here I'm going to show you exactly what I do because the camera's behind me because I don't like prop shots. So when I'm fishing,
I do the same thing.
Off, I get my shit together, camera's off. I want to start recording again. I'm like, GoPro, start recording. So when it starts recording and I see that next clip has a thumbs up,
that's good.
Fish, and
that's good.
The last 5 minutes. So I have a shitload of content, contented.
No excuse.
I'm just not content and
making
content.
One, I've got 2 points here. One, I think it's an awesome system. I think the looping system that a lot of people talk about, I do think that that can be flawed a little bit, right? Because you're just burning through a ton of footage, especially like if you're in a big boat and you got multiple cams, I can maybe see that working. But if you're in a kayak, so how my system runs, if I'm just out there fishing, kind of in my head as I'm fishing, after 5 minutes, if I don't catch anything, I stop the footage and I do exactly what you do. I give a thumbs down and then I say, GoPro, stop recording, right? Because for me, what I do is when I pull up the clips, I look to the last 5 seconds. But I do exactly what you're doing, where if I have something good, I go, GoPro, stop recording. So I know I can kind of tell myself. But if I'm talking to the camera, after I'm done with whatever the sentence is, I'll stop the camera. So I'll stop the clip so you don't have to weed through 15 minutes of bullshit, right? And you try to keep it, for me, I try to keep it at 5 to 7 minute clips as I go along, unless the fishing's hot and heavy, right? Then I'm stopping it then no matter what, unless I fucking forget because I'm an idiot. But normally I try to keep them 5 to 7 minutes of what I'm doing, and that makes it more manageable. But you're absolutely right. You're doing it, I think, the right way. I do a thumbs up, thumbs down, just so I can go to that very last frame when I put it onto the computer. Look at that last frame. If it's a thumbs up, I keep it. If it's a thumbs down, it goes right into the trash bin.
Yeah. And so I set it up to where like I can't remember how big the memory card is, but I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because I am actively shutting it on and off. I'm not recording everything. I have a Dakota Lithium 10 amp
That's what you're running it off of.
The black box thing, that shit's bad as hell.
Yep.
And then I have it
because it has a flashlight, right?
Oh hell yeah, man! That thing is so damn awesome. One of the reasons I got it, I heard Josh has been talking about it on the Dark Waters podcast for a while, and then I was looking at camera setups, and Christine Fisher from a year or so ago has a really good camera setup thing.
That is a great video. If you guys haven't watched it, that is a phenomenal video because she is very bare bones, gets you in the action. She doesn't want to fuck around with a bunch of shit, which is most people, right? She doesn't want. And if you look at her videos, you get one or two angles, normally just one angle, and she makes it work.
That is that back view, and you get
money view.
So from that, I didn't get the camera pole that she suggested because I found one locally that works for me. I got the Brim Buster, whatever. I can't remember what the hell it's called, but anyway. But the best thing I got from that video was the 3BR outdoors charger.
Yeah.
And so it makes it's a case that makes that camera not waterproof, but it makes it weather resistant.
Yes.
So you're not going to have any issues with rain getting in there or anything like that.
But it also keeps it open so the mic is accessible and the charging point and all of that.
Right. And so, people talk about overheating, especially in the summertime. I take the battery out and I put that in. And so it never overheats. It does anything. And so, I got those, put those two things together. Christine's video is real good. But then Josh talking about, like, I was trying to figure out how the hell I was going to power it.
Right. No.
Josh kept talking about that fucking Dakota lithium black box. And so I bought one. And sure, you could go make one, this and that. And I do too. Look, it's not, but look, their shit is made right. Like, I ain't over there fooling around, spending 2 hours doing some bullshit. I don't have all the stuff anyway. I
ran, and you know what? I've had this idea for a long time that I really need to just pull the trigger on making a video about how to film yourself fishing. Because I've done it. If you guys have been on the channel, I've done it almost every way you can. I've done chest camera. I've done the fucking hat strap thing. Yeah. I've done the forward facing looking at me, and I've done really wide behind me. I've done right over my shoulder. But the big thing is power. Like, power is legitimate. Like, I don't like one. The GoPro I use doesn't have removable batteries. I have the Hero 7 Silver, and it works just great. Yeah. But you got to figure out power. And so I looked up on Amazon. I got the brand is called Anchor. It's spelled all fucked up. But this thing will charge, like, it's not spelled like Anchor.
Guard guy, if it's not spelled right, it's spelled fucked up.
Right, exactly.
Anchor.
No, it's like ANKR or some shit. But that little battery pack, I've gone out for 10 hours and that thing has kept my GoPro charged the entire time. And it's a small battery pack, like this big, very lightweight. It runs off a USB and it tucks to the back of my kayak chair. And I run the same case that Christine Fisher was talking about. And then if it rains, pro tip here, we'll see who's listening at 29 minutes into this. Pro tip is go get earplugs. Those wax earplugs, you can take those and put them over your port that's open in the rain, and it'll keep it out from your SD card or all that other stuff. What you got there? Is this the box? Yeah, that thing's sweet.
Yeah. So this is the power box from Dakota Lithium is where I got mine.
I think stellar.
And, this is a 10 amp. I got a cheap Cabela's. So for my graph, I've got a cheap Cabela's. I think it's either 8 or 10 milliamp. Just a cheap. Yeah. It's like the cheapest Cabela's or Bass Pro lithium. And that's where I run my graph off of.
Wait, so you take 2 battery boxes underway?
Yeah, so because that one is installed in my front hatch of my PA. Okay. And wired in. And then this one, just because like camping or anything like that, sure, this one goes into my H crate in the back. And that way, if I need to charge my phone, it's all right there. I mean, I could hardwire this one in to work, but I also, I don't want to drill holes and make new holes and shit in my kayak.
Especially in your $9,000 kayak, your Ike Special Hobie PA.
I don't mind doing it if I know that's the right decision.
Sure. Yeah, no, so I mean, it makes sense.
I do it like everything I do in my kayak makes it where it's not, I don't want a lot of stuff that is permanent.
Yeah.
Because I'm new into the kayak game. I'm new into the kayak tournament stuff. And so right now I know that I want to test stuff out before I make it permanent. And to be honest, man, like I've started to scale back on a lot of shit that I take, and making stuff permanent makes it hard not to take.
I think that's super important what you're talking about, especially when you first get, whether you're new to kayaking or you just get a new kayak. Like I recommend this to folks all the time. I even did a video last year on it, right? But it is specifically like, don't make anything permanent. Don't make your system permanent in your boat until you've been in that thing multiple times. You're going to make the first kayak I had. I see your light. The first kayak I had, I started drilling all over the place. I was like, I see all these guys do this, right? And I drilled all over the place. And then I just had these like just wasted space. And to be honest, like it just ended up adding weight because I then had to like fix it. And then I had to like permanently put something else in. My first kayak I had for 4 years. Like that thing has shit all over it. Only half of it I actually use because I permanently did it. I think it's super important when you get a boat to sit in that thing bare bones and kind of work into it. Work where you want stuff. Yeah, this paddle holder looks fucking dope as shit, right? I'm going to get this and I'm going to permanently put it in. But then when you use it, you're like, oh, wait, that hits my knee or something like that. You know what I mean? Like simple stuff like that can really just mess it apart. So like my Old Town, I don't have the only thing permanent I have are camera mounts. And that's after testing them and like kind of jerry rigging them to like kind of look at what the angle's going to be. And then I permanently put them in. But other than that, it's really bare bones. And some of that's because I car top. So I have to break that thing all the way down and build it all the way back up. So I try to limit the much as much stuff as I have, but I think it's super important. It's really easy to get caught up, and trust me, I did it. It's really easy to get caught up in that mod game of like, I'm going to build all this shit from Harbor Freight. I'm going to throw all this shit on my 10-foot Sun Dolphin, and it's going to be awesome. It's not. Like, you've got to sit. You got to like, dude, you got to pedal in that boat or paddle in that boat or pedal in that boat. You got to catch fish. You got to land fish. You got to be in rough water. You got to load and unload. You got to do that multiple times, I feel like, until you can really start making those permanent upgrades to a boat.
And I know we need to talk about fall fishing, and we will. But to go back, and I think this is important because I'm not a new angler. I'm not a new fisher. I've been doing this shit my whole life. I am new to the kayak scene.
Right.
And I've talked about this a ton. Like I want to fish in a kayak because I can compete. It gives me that avenue to be in competitions. So I'm new, and I can only speak of the Hobie. Now I had a good boat. It's a good river boat or backwaters boat if you want to look at it that way. But or kayak, I know somebody's going, oh my God, ain't no fucking, it's not a boat, it's a kayak or whatever.
Fuck them. Listen, I'm in the Coast Guard. That thing's categorized as a boat. They can go fuck themselves.
I'll tell you this. I can't remember who I said this to. I said this to somebody else on Instagram, I think. I said, if it's a boat or if it floats, it's a boat.
Absolutely.
So, you
absolutely.
It's got a cardboard duct tape. If it floats, we'll call it a boat.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I can only speak of the Hobie. I don't talk shit about no other kayak except the one I've been in. And Sun Dolphins, they do suck.
Yep.
But I don't talk shit about it. Like, oh my God, them Hobies, they suck, blah, blah, blah. And motherfucker probably ain't never been in a Hobie. They maybe sat in it. You know, Alex, who probably looked at it and was like, I can't afford that, so it sucks.
We'll cycle back around, but I have been into a Hobie. No, we're gonna cover it here. Hold on.
Said that was too expensive.
Hold on. I've been in a Hobie. I don't like the non-instant reverse. Other than that boat is beautiful.
360.
And yeah, well, that's another like $3,000 for that drive. It drives the price way too high when you could get prop drive and be fine, and there's no maintenance involved. But also, car topping a PA is atrocious. That is a pain in the ass.
So two things I'm getting at. One is I have the Hobie wheels, and that is the one thing I hate. It gives me so much heartburn. Sometimes I want to push this kayak out to the middle of the lake and shoot that bitch until it sinks. Putting those fucking wheels on the ramp is an absolute pain in the ass. Everybody's like, well, just put it on its side and put them in. Look, I don't take shit out of my kayak.
Yeah.
Like my kayak is set up that the only thing I need to do is to charge the batteries and put the batteries back in.
Yep.
And take the rod and reels I'm taking out and put them in. And, you know, I don't carry a lot of seasonally. I fish seasonally, so I don't carry a lot of gear.
Right.
But to unload all that shit, it would look like fucking Sanford's son at the boat ramp. And, you know, that shit ain't going to happen. So I will say this. The Hobie is a pain in the ass when it comes to that. And so I might one day be investing in some different wheels. But
how do you do the wheels? Are they attached to like that boondock system where they're like
I'm thinking about the boondock system because I don't store mine like my wheels go on to load. Okay. And my wheels go
so you're going right through the scupper plugs. Gotcha.
Right. So I've got bungee cords and I set the kayak on the wheels. I run the bungee cords up, hook them, and then I lift it up, and the pressure of the bungee cords pull it into the scupper.
Dude, that looks like a nightmare. You got to think about getting into that. I know it's expensive, but getting into those boondocks, like
it's worth every penny.
Yeah,
I just don't have quite enough pennies yet, but it is worth every penny.
Now, well, hey, everybody out there, hold on, everybody out there, make sure to share this video, like it, all that stuff, so we can get Paul some boondocks. Let's do that right now. We're on the
wrong platform. We should be going live and doing super chats if we really wanted to buy.
No shit, right?
So, but what I got off on a really bad tangent about these stupid wheels.
No. The wheels, you didn't get off. The wheels are legit. So I used to have the wheels and I stopped using them on the little boat because it was fucking up my seam. Right. So Hobie, just so everybody knows, Hobie is the only company. And I'm not a fan of it's not that I'm not a fan of Hobie. I'm not a fanboy for them. But I will give them this. They're the only company that will still honor your warranty if you use a scupper plug cart system. No other brand will, because that's normally where your when you roto mold the kayak, that's where the seam is in that scupper plug. So that's actually like, if you have any other brand other than Hobie, you probably shouldn't be using those scupper carts because they are gonna go ahead.
But Hobie, I think it was 3 years ago, and I could be mistaken, somewhere around there. They reinforce those scupper holes on the PAs.
But they're the only company that's done that.
Yeah, but I mean, Hobie's been in the game. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
My whole point getting to with putting permanent shit on your kayak and you talking about drilling holes. What I wanted to get to with one of the things that I really, 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 really love about the Hobie is the H-rail system.
Yeah.
That H-rail system allows you to do so many things without it being permanent or without you drilling holes into your kayak. I really do love that. And the H-crate is the same way. It gives me a lot of opportunity to buy. And sure, you're going to pay a premium for those H-rail accessories. But I look, man, a bunch of them came with the kayak when I bought it because I bought it used. I don't use the majority of them that came with it. I use the cup holder. I I don't use any of the damn fishing pole holders.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much use the cup holder, and then I got obviously my graph set up, and I got my camera thing set up. But
no, they have it absolutely right with that H-rail system. That is top notch. I mean, you know me, I fish out of an old town. I love them. They're great boats. I am super envious of that H-rail system. I think it's phenomenally done. Yes, there's downsides to it because it does add weight. That's kind of the drawback. But
no, we talking about that ain't shit. We're that if you fishing out of a Sun Dolphin, yeah, that weight matter. But
no, that weight matters depending on the transportation of your kayak. You got to lift your kayak maybe 2 foot to get it into the bed of your truck.
Hell no, man, that thing comes up about 3.5 feet.
Okay, so I've got to lift my kayak all
California
the way.
Ain't no fucking low rider.
I've got to lift my kayak all the way to the top of the SUV. So that extra weight, it does. Hold on. Let's rewind this back. What is get a trailer? I don't want to get a trailer because then I got to pay for registration and all that bullshit. What does that say? Fall fishing. All right, we're done arguing, I guess.
Nope.
But
read it like I spelled it.
Fall fashion. Bullshit.
Look. And these are my leaves.
What are those? Those are. It looks like turds. If you guys aren't watching this on YouTube, you guys got to get it. Paul misspelled fishing, and then he has this weird ghost turd thing on the screen now.
It's fashion. Fall fashion.
Fashion. All right, so fall fishing. We'll move off the kayaks.
Fishing is fashion, and the kayak is my runway.
We're gonna cut that. That's gonna be another promo. So fall fishing.
Make a note because all the good promos that I say are good are never the ones that you give me. Now let me tell y'all something. Just so everybody is clear. This is Alex, aka Swamp Rat Fishing,
yes.
aka Bobby Roast Beef's illegitimate son. This is his podcast. He invited me on to co-host as a guest every now and again. I'm like, dude, I'll come on all of them. He invited me on this shit. Look, y'all, I literally do 2 things. I reach out to people to come on the podcast, and I show up. That's it. I don't do anything else.
But that's going to be changing. That's going to be changing.
I'm like, hey, dude, it's Wednesday. I don't have anything to post. And he sends me shit to post. So just to be clear, y'all, I ask people to be on podcasts, and I show up and do what I do. I show up and be awesome. I mean, let's be real.
Well, you're going to have to start showing up.
Look, if it wasn't for him, the shit wouldn't get posted. It'd be like all my videos. I probably got 85 gigs worth of fishing content in YouTube or in GoPro land. But anyway, just to be clear.
Well, thank you, bud. But that's going to change. Like we're going to do some training sessions. We're going to get you maybe not the promos. We just got to get you to be able to start the stream and post it on YouTube, and then we'll be good from there.
Look, you show me how to do that, and then I will take us to the universe.
That's it, man. And I'll still be in contact. If people don't know, like before we hit fall fishing, like I leave for California I'm looking at I don't already know already. So I leave for California in 30 days. I check into my ship in Oakland, Alameda, California. So things are going to change. We might miss a couple. Hopefully we won't. I still committed to this. I know Paul is too.
We won't miss anything.
Okay.
But there are going to be shows in the future where it's me and a guest and or a guest host.
Yes.
So there will we won't miss. We won't miss, but Alex might not be here. But what I might do is take my whiteboard and I might hand draw a picture of him and post it over here so that he is with us at all times, even though he's going to be in Tahiti and Hawaii and Guam and the Virgin Islands, drinking coconut water out of.
I'll still listen as long as I can get those on our recording day. I do want to do an episode from Tahiti, but no. So Paul's right. We are going to continue the podcast, but I will be absent. Probably specifically at the beginning of December. I'm going to be absent for about 4.5 months. I'll be gone doing my Coast Guard thing. So Paul's going to be there. What's that?
Not all of it, right? Maybe not all 4 months, right? Maybe we got some.
Dude, it all depends. I don't even know if we're going to get to fall fishing, which is fine. But so when I'm gone, just to be like clear, I know we talked before we started, right? So it depends on where I'm at. So if I'm in Hawaii, Wi-Fi is great. If I'm in Fiji, Wi-Fi is not great. So those 4.5 months where I'm on patrol, I might not be able to. I might be able to drop in for a little bit. I'd love to do that. But my connection, like shit, man. When I did patrols in Costa Rica, we were getting like 56K. Like I was struggling to get a phone call out. Like I'm fucking being dead serious. Like shit sucks. So it all depends. And I'm going to some more God, I don't know how to say this without offending people. I'm going to more first world countries. But it all depends on what my connection is. And maybe we'll do some impromptu, like, hey, I've got good internet. Fuck it. Me and Paul are going to talk fishing and life. You know what I mean? But I will be gone for about 4.5 months. I don't want you guys. We've got Paul here. Paul's going to write the ship. I'm going to teach him how to get this thing posted on YouTube and all that stuff, and on Anchor, and how we do the podcast. So that's still going to go. And I know we've had, personally, I've had Wild Bill reach out to me, Hookset Hoodlum's owner, about kind of stepping in if he can, when he can, to kind of help out. We want to keep this going. We love you guys who listen.
When Wild Bill is on for the first time with me, it's probably going to be a swamp rat fishing roast because
I fucking love it. Yeah, I fucking love it. And I honestly can't wait. Man, we're going to get gushy. Dude, this community that I've been able to help like build and be part of, and all of that is really fucking amazing. I've had so many people the last week or so kind of reach out like, hey man, are you okay? Like I haven't posted a shit ton on Instagram because I haven't been fishing. I've been dealing with like life shit outside of fishing, and the people reaching out is really fucking awesome. The people reaching out like through the YouTube channel, and people who like the show, like there's been a ton. And then specifically the Hookset Hoodlum boys, like you guys are fucking awesome. All of you. Paul, obviously you're my favorite, but fucking everybody else, like the boys have stepped up, and I really didn't think we were going to go here in this podcast, but I really fucking appreciate that. This is not a fun time for me. This is a really honestly shitty time. And you guys are fucking making it a lot more bearable with this community we're all building. So I really want to thank you all for that. Everybody who listens, watches, all that stuff. Like I really appreciate it. Yeah. I just really appreciate it. Yeah, man.
And you know, we're going to get some really good episodes where we talk a lot of shit about you that you're going to be able to listen to. And have a good time. Dude,
I can't wait to pull into a port, download all the episodes, and I just want a constant. I want like a. Do you remember Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, of course, second greatest computer game ever. Behind Jack Nicklaus Golf.
I want that, but like, where in the world is Alex? And I just want shitty fucking replies the whole time. I want like a dumpster in Tijuana. I want just everything ridiculous.
So on that, we don't have we got as much time as we do as we want, because you know why? It's our podcast. Don't nobody sponsor this shit. Don't nobody tell us what to do. And now I will say I only got about 7/8 of my Bud Light 8% alcoholic beverage.
We might have to come back to the fall fishing. I think we might have to come back to it, but
oh my gosh, well, this segue really just got fucked up because we can't end it now. It's only been like 30 minutes.
We don't have to end it. It's actually been 15 minutes and 57 seconds.
Oh, I see the timer up in the top left. You should have told me that.
Son of a bitch. But I want to, I think maybe we'll save fall fishing for not the next one. The next one we've got a guest coming on. Should be great. Man, I didn't mean to get all sappy on it, but again, I just want to thank all of you guys. Like, it's been fucking awesome. The movement and the traction of this podcast is fucking awesome. Bringing Paul on, thank you so much for coming on, man. Who would have thought? Like, I was, you know, what's funny is the video that I was gonna do today, right? I kind of rushed through it, but there was one about doing not the whiny one, but I did record one like in my shitty studio about fishing and social media, and I think I still want to do it, but I want to hit some points here where like. Sometimes there's a lot of bad juju around fishing social media, right? Like, it's people catching fish for likes. They're catching fish for follows. I've been lucky enough, and I think a lot of folks, if you guys get involved, will see this too. Like, you get to meet so many fucking awesome dudes out there. Like, Paul, I would have fucking never met you if it wasn't for Instagram and doing this whole thing. And it's just fucking great, dude. Like, it's just fucking awesome. And all the Hookset, I mean, really, like, between you and Hookset, and there's other boys too, Ramon Outdoors, M&K Outdoors, 609 Fishing. These are all like fucking solid people who are all about positivity, about building you up, and then you build them. You know what I mean? We all grow together, but also it's about like bullshitting. It's about getting some Southerner who can barely speak fucking English to join your podcast while you're a semi aggravated all the time, almost midget who's adopted to the Northeast. Like, that shit wouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find out that Bobby roast beef is probably your daddy.
It's fucking crazy. What's funny is I asked my dad, like, hey, do you know who Bobby Roast Beef is? And he got scared. I saw the look in his eyes. My old man said, you mean the mailman? So, well, but yeah, I didn't want to end all this on like a down note or anything. I just want to thank everybody. Like,
down note, but what I have to say is this: you talk about the community and you talk about kayak fishing, and if you and the folks that are listening to this, I assume, and if you're not listening to these podcasts, I assume you're listening to podcasts like Kayak Bass Nation KBN. You're listening to Bass Kayak and Beers with Armando. You're listening to Josh with Dark Waters. Pretty much all the Paddle and Fin Network folks.
Yep.
If you listen to these kayak angling podcasts, that's the one thing that you'll hear is the community and who people are. And a lot of that has to do with how small the community is and just that camaraderie aspect. And what I like to say is how raw it is. Yeah. Like, you go out and you're going to have beers and drinks. And if people don't drink, they're going to drink coffee, but you're all going to be there. You're working together. And then you're going to have people, go listen to the KBN podcast from, I think it was last Monday. Luke Arian and Steve Owens. And Steve talks about him and two other guys, or him and one other guy, splitting a pack of worms in a tournament that they're fishing against each other. That's the type of community this is. But in general, coming from growing up in the South and talking about fishing and hunting and being outdoors, it builds a bond that, regardless of who you are or where you're from, it builds that bond. It's something everybody can talk about. And to get into that is like, Alex is about to leave his family for almost a year.
12 months exactly, yeah.
Yeah. All the way across the country, plus a few extra 1,000 miles on top of that. So, he's not just giving up fishing. He's not just giving up all the podcasting and being outdoors and doing that. He's giving up his family is the biggest thing. But it is 2021, about to be 2022. And the great thing about the years that are now is that we can communicate through technology like this. And so being able to have that outlet and being able to make these connections again, 20 years ago, this connection never happens.
Correct. Yeah.
20 years ago, you don't get to FaceTime or satellite call, your kids and your wife.
Yep.
And so we just have to, as a community, whatever that community is, whatever the demographic is, this is how we build these friendships and relationships now that the opportunity wasn't there before. And so, use it for good and use it to build relationships. And that's what we've done with ours. And that's where Hook said, it's a bunch of crazy ass doing some dumbass shit. And Hook said, but I tell you what, when people need something, and we look at Lone Star headed out down to Louisiana and New Orleans to do what he's doing, everybody's making sure that he's okay. When Alex heads out, making sure that he's okay. Somebody doesn't say anything in a while, they're making sure he's okay.
Dude, it's incredible. It's incredible that community that Bill, Ken, and Andrew have created. Like, it is. Yeah, that Hook set is way more than a pro staff team. It's definitely a family. It's they have done a phenomenal job, and I'm glad that they're adding the good ones in as well with all the new members that are coming in. Like, everybody's solid, everybody's there for the right reason.
Yeah, and when you think about the pro staff, and pro staff means promotional staff,
right? Not
professional. In most instances. But in general, like with the pro staff has gotten a bad name, and it's gotten a bad name not because people try to be in all the pro staffs to get a discount or to be able to put it on their blog or whatever. Blog. What the fuck is it? 2010.
Who the fuck uses a blog?
I don't know. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this: is that the pro staff is when I talked to Bill about this, I was like, look, man, I'm not looking for a discount. Yeah. I'll pay full price for my gear. I don't care. I'm just looking for, promoting myself, promoting you promoting me. Like, it's a teamwork thing. If I need help with something, I got help. And that's what it is. And that's what it's been. That's what's been great about it. So if you're, again, I'm a new kayak angler, and when you're trying to start to build that brand in your name, you look at the pro staff and what they do for the people who are on their pro staff. If you see one and that staff is not promoting the folks who are on it, if that company's not promoting, think twice about that, because that should be part of the gig.
It should be, right? It should be a give and take. Yeah. I mean, obviously your job is to promote the company, but they should be there to help support you.
Well, they should be promoting you.
Them. Yeah.
As the bigger your name gets, the more they get from it as well. I mean, 20% off is nice. And let's be real, 99% of us are doing this shit as a hobby. So Correct. Getting 20% off on a bag of worms and paying $5 instead of $5.80. I don't know if the math is right now, because
math is garbage.
I'm a math dummy.
480 okay, would have been the answer.
Yeah, right. So, but that adds up over time. But
sure.
What if you're really into that, how do I grow my brand and my name? Because the bigger I am, the bigger those companies become.
Right.
And so they should be helping you a little bit. And Hookset does that. I mean, you look at their posts and they're always posting pictures, young, middle-aged, old, female, male, it doesn't matter. They're always promoting those people in there.
As long as you're real and to the point, you're not a bullshit angler. Yeah. Hookset I couldn't ask for. I'm only pro staff on one team, and that's for a reason, and it's Hookset. So all right, man. I'm sorry.
I will say this. We got to figure out what to do with the YouTube page.
What do you mean?
Like, you're the only one putting content out on Swamp Rat Fishing YouTube.
Yeah, I am. Right.
That's it. We got to figure out what to do with that.
We talked about that. We'll talk about it off camera. I can add you to it, or we can start. So, I mean, if folks want to see another one.
But no, I know we talked about off camera. I know what we talked about. But, like, there's, we got to figure, like, that shit ain't my realm, Bo. I'm going to be putting out a bunch of shorts of me. Look, here's the other problem, too. The second best thing about a Hobie is that when you pull out that drive, you have a urinal.
Okay. Don't put pissing videos on my page.
I'm not, but I have to cut all that shit out. I drink a lot of water. I drink coffee and a lot of water. I have to pee.
You just give a thumbs down. You piss, you turn off the camera, you take a piss, and you turn the camera back on.
But Paul, that's too many cuts. But I might stand up and see a bussin' bass and have to go over there and cast to it, my pants half down and reel it in. Like, I can't, like, there's too many thumbs. I've only got two.
I think maybe you should go fish with Ike and Ellie, and then he'll show you.
Oh, my God. If I could fish with Ike, that would be, I would hug the shit. I would give Mike, Ike, and Ellie a man hug like he never got before. Anyway, y'all, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We didn't cover fall fishing, but we will.
We'll cover it real quick. We'll cover it real quick in the South. Fall fishing. You wake up early, you get out on the water, you throw some top water.
Yeah.
And then after that, if they don't bite top water, you leave.
All right, so in the Northeast, it's you're gonna throw moving baits. They're trying to feed up. They're trying to get fat, get those aggressive baits. Listen, we were gonna stretch a whole podcast about it, and we just covered it. If you're in the South, throw top water. If it doesn't work, go fuck off. If you're in the North, throw something moving. If that doesn't work, then throw the fucking worm you've been throwing all fucking year because it's gonna work.
Yeah, I've got half a drink left, so we need 10 more minutes. Oh shit, he froze on me.
I know, I'm still here. All right.
He didn't. He looked at me. So there's two reasons if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're not, you need to go look at 1 minute and 2 seconds.
1 hour and 2 minutes.
You look at this, and you look at how he looks at me, and his ass looks froze. And there's two reasons. One, he's either got to pee, or two, he's got to get up and go to work in the morning. That's the only one or both of those two reasons. The only reason he gave me a look that made it look like he was froze.
He nailed both of them. So thank you guys so much for listening. I know we didn't really cover fall fishing. Hopefully you guys like this more. Again, we'll sum up fall fishing. If you're in the South, throw top water. Otherwise, fuck off. If you're in the North, throw moving baits. If that doesn't work, throw a fucking Senko because that works everywhere. It's been Bass and Brews, everybody. Thank you.
# Bus and Bass.
What?